Just as fire is present everywhere, unmanifest, it manifests as a candle or a blazing star. So does consciousness manifest in all living beings. Space cannot be buried by earth. It cannot be made wet by water. It cannot be burnt by fire. And it cannot be dried by wind. Space is all-pervasive. The room space is not separate from the total space. The walls of a room do not constrain space.
Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The world we experience, this vast dynamic universe, is what Vedanta calls Jagat, the manifest reality. At first glance, it appears complex and diverse, but when we analyze it carefully, it can be reduced to three fundamental factors: Deśa or space, Kāla or time, and Vastu or matter. Deśa, Kāla, Vastu. Everything you perceive, every object, every event, every change exists within these three. Nothing in the manifest world can exist outside space, time, and matter. But here is where the inquiry deepens. Vedanta asks, what is the basis of this triad itself? Is space truly independent? Is time absolute? Is matter self-existing? When we observe closely, we discover something subtle yet profound. Space and time are not experienced independently of the mind. They arise along with thought. In deep sleep, where there is no active mind, there is no sense of space, no passage of time, no world of objects. The moment the mind wakes up, the universe appears, with space, time, and matter fully structured. So Vedanta points out the triad of Deśa, Kāla, Vastu is dependent on the manas, the mind. In that sense, the mind is the immediate substratum of the experienced universe. Now let us go further. Consider akasha or space. Space is extremely subtle. It accommodates everything, yet remains untouched by what it accommodates. Earth cannot fill it, water cannot wet it, fire cannot burn it, and air cannot dry it. Space allows all elements to exist, yet it remains unaffected by them. And yet, Vedanta tells us, even this akasha is not ultimate. It is itself a projection dependent on the mind. So reflect on this. If space, which appears so vast, so subtle, and so indestructible, is itself a product of the mind, then how subtle must the mind be? How powerful must the mind be? The mind is not just another object in the universe. It is the very framework through which the universe is experienced. Now let us take another example, Agni or fire. Fire is not always visible. It exists in an unmanifest form. It becomes visible only when the right conditions are present: fuel, oxygen, and ignition. The flame of a candle, the heat of a stove, the blaze of a forest fire, the energy released in nuclear fission, and the fusion in a distant star. All these are expressions of the same Agni principle. The manifestation varies, but the underlying reality is one. In the same way, Vedanta introduces the concept of Chaitanya or consciousness. Consciousness is not something produced by the body. It is not created by the brain. Rather, it is the fundamental reality that is present everywhere. However, just like fire appears only when conditions are right, consciousness appears to be manifest only in living beings, where there is a functioning mind-body complex. So we say that this person is conscious, that object is inert. But this is only from the standpoint of manifestation. Vedanta invites us to look deeper. Just as fire exists even when unmanifest, consciousness too is all-pervasive, not limited to living beings. It is present everywhere, at all times. Then why does it seem to be individualized? This is because of the body-mind upadhi, the limiting adjunct. Each body acts like a container, making consciousness appear as though it is separate and individual. Just like space appears divided when enclosed in pots, pot space, room space, hall space, but in reality, space is never divided. Similarly, consciousness appears as my consciousness and your consciousness, but in truth, it is one undivided reality. Between two bodies, we feel there is no consciousness, just inert space. But this is an error of perception. Consciousness is not absent there. It is simply not manifest through a mind. So what we are really experiencing is not a fragmented reality, but a continuous, all-pervading presence that appears divided due to forms. This understanding shifts our perspective completely. The world is no longer a collection of independent objects. It becomes an appearance within the mind. The mind itself is subtle, powerful, and foundational. And beyond even the mind lies Chaitanya, the unchanging, all-pervading reality in whose presence everything appears, functions, and dissolves. This is the essence of Vedantic vision. From Jagat to Manas, and from Manas to Chaitanya, the journey is not outward, but inward. Namaste.
न भूमिर्न तोयं न तेजो न वायुर्न खं नेन्द्रियं वा न तेषां समूह अनैकान्तिकत्वा सुषुप्तेकसिद्ध तदेको वसिष्ठ शिव केवलोऽहं तदेको वसिष्ठ शिव केवलोऽहम् न वर्णाश्रमाचारधर्म न मेधारणाध्यानयोगादयोऽपि अनात्माश्रयाकं ममाध्यासः न तदेको वसिष्ठ शिव केवलोऽहं तदेको वसिष्ठ शिव केवलोऽहम् माता पिता वा न देवा न लोक न वेदा न यज्ञा न तीर्थं ब्रुवन्ति सुषुप्तौ निरस्तादिशून्यात्मकत्वात् तदेको वसिष्ठ शिव केवलोऽहं तदेको वसिष्ठ शिव केवलोऽहम् न साङ्ख्यं न शैवं न तत्पाञ्जरात्रं न जैनं न मीमांसकादेर्मतं वा